The demon child who called humans mother. A small demon girl once walked into a human village. Before the hero party arrived, a child had already been found lifeless. The parents wanted revenge, but one man chose to take her in. The next few days, he was dead. In Frieren, demons like Ehre and Revolta are feared for their overwhelming power, and powerful demons are remembered long enough to earn names. But strangely, some of the most dangerous demons in the series were never given one at all. As a rule, if you ever encounter a nameless greater demon, even a first-class mage is expected to run. Yet many nameless demons pass through Frieren's history without ever being remembered. Well, except one. The demon child who calls out for her mother appears in episode 7 of the anime. She is a young demon girl that the hero party encounters in a village. Before they arrive, she had already consumed the daughter of an ordinary couple. When confronted, she cried out for mother and said her wounds hurt, which caused Himmel to hesitate. But things became complicated when the village chief chose to take her in. He treated her as family, let her stay in his home, and even had her help in the field so she could atone. Himmel decided to wait and see what would happen. Frieren, however, volunteered to destroy her from the start because she did not trust the situation. The clearest demonstration of her nature came after she experienced a peaceful life in the village. Even after being cared for, she cut down the village chief and burned his house. She could sense the hostile intent of the grieving parents whose daughter she had played with. Yet she misunderstood human feelings. Her solution was to slay the chief and offer his daughter to the parents as a replacement. Her biggest moment came from when she tried to take the daughter hostage. Himmel cut off both her arms to stop her. In her last moments, she once again called out to the word mother. For this demon, the word mother was simply a magical word that caused humans to pity her, making it so that her life wouldn't be cut off. Of course, our granny elf was not fooled, and she immediately carried out her sentence. The three demons Flamma blasted. These three unnamed demons appear during Frieren's past, right after she defeats Basalt, the throne, and is rescued by Flamma. Interestingly, the demons are stated to be even stronger than Basalt. Like most demons, however, they are extremely proud of their magic, which was what led to their downfall. The clearest display of their mindset comes from their behavior during the ambush. Earlier, they perfectly hid their mana to prepare an attack. But the moment they realized Flamma and Frieren were mages, they revealed themselves openly. Flamma found this interesting because demons are both cunning and cowardly. Yet at the same time, they carry a senseless pride in their magic. At first, they told Flamma she could live if she left Frieren behind, since their orders only targeted elves. But the real turning point came when they released their mana and confronted the two head-on. They believed Flamma was a weak mage and treated her like a minor threat. Their biggest mistake was underestimating her. Little did they know that Flamma constantly suppresses her mana to deceive demons about her true strength. Because of their arrogance, they fell for it completely. In the end, Flamma destroyed all three instantly after tricking them about the difference in their mana, showing how their pride in magic led directly to their deaths. The demon who attacked Ehre's village. This giant demon attacked Ehre's village when she was younger. The attack was stopped by Wirbel, along with the other members of the Northern Magic Corps. The most important part of this event is not the demon's abilities, since little is known about its powers. Instead, this incident helped improve Ehre's view of Wirbel. Because he saved the village, she came to see him as a kind person, which became one of the reasons they grew close. The demon who attacked Wirbel's home. This nameless demon led the army that attacked Wirbel's hometown after the death of Himmel. The manga does not reveal anything special about the demon's abilities or the powers of its army, but the attack became one of the most important memories in Wirbel's life. The clearest memory comes from Wirbel's childhood. When he was young, he loved the grand stories about Himmel's party, like conquering the Thousand Mirror Tower, fighting one of the 7 Sages of Destruction, the Immortal Boza, and facing the Hell Emperor Dragon. Because of that, he disliked hearing the village elders talk about simple things like escorting merchants or protecting villages. To him, those sounded boring. Yet what's strange to Wirbel is that the elders spoke of them with genuine happiness. The turning point came after Himmel died. Soon after, this demon and its army attacked and slaughtered the village. In that moment, Wirbel finally understood the meaning behind those simple stories. Turns out, the victories against powerful demons and even the Demon King felt distant to ordinary people like them. What truly mattered was protecting everyday life. Basically, those silly stories, which Wirbel once found boring, became the reason that brought him this far in the path he followed afterward. Demon who blocked the Ing Road. The demon who blocked the Ing road is a large demon from Frieren's past. It had a muscular, human-like upper body and many appendages that ended in snake heads. The creature terrorized the Ing road region until the hero party defeated it and basically freed the place. The biggest impact of this demon appears much later when Frieren travels with Stark and Fern. Along the Ing road, they met a traveling merchant, escorted him to town, and even cleared a landslide on the way. During the trip, the merchant explains why the region celebrates every year. His explanation points back to the hero party's victory over this demon. After this creature was defeated, the region was liberated, and the townspeople began holding a liberation festival to remember that day. They decorate statues of Himmel and his companions in the central plaza and hold a grand celebration in honor of the peace that followed. The demon who stole the heirloom sword. This nameless demon is the one who stole Graf Dach's heirloom sword. The sword originally belonged to the famous demon and hid an appeal that only demons could understand. After the theft, the hero party chased the demon into the Schmier Mountains and eventually defeated it at the summit. Graf Dachs basically insisted that the sacred sword be recovered and even threatened to imprison Himmel and the others if they failed. That's why Frieren knows it best that the Graf family often made unreasonable requests. The demon's moment came during the search itself. The party had no leads at all, making the hunt difficult and frustrating. In the end, they finally located the stolen sword at the top of the Schmier Mountains after defeating the demon who took it. This incident highlighted both the sword's importance and its origin. The weapon's demonic history gave it a special attraction toward demons, which explained why it was stolen in the first place. And years after, it will fall into another demon's hands again. The sword-wielding demon, also known as the fake priestess demon, is a demon disguised as a middle-aged woman. Wearing a hooded cloak and carrying a carved symbol of the goddess as her props, this nameless demon deceives travelers by setting up fake graves and pretending to mourn victims. In the present timeline, she is also the demon who stole the Dach family sword and uses it in battle, which leads to her confrontation with Frieren's party. Her most important scene begins when Frieren, Fern, and Stark meet her in a ruined village. She introduces herself as a traveling priest and claims the village was destroyed by a sword demon while she stayed behind to mourn. She even says many villages were wiped out by this same demon, which in truth were all her doing. The clearest display of her method comes when she asks the group to pray for the victims. Her tactic is simple. When visitors close their eyes, she sends them straight to the afterlife. But things became clear when Frieren shot one of the graves and revealed there were no bodies buried at all. At that moment, the fake priestess dropped the act and attacked. In the end, Frieren's party defeated her and recovered the weapon. As a reward, Frieren received a grimoire containing a spell that turns red apples into green apples. The demon of the Rufen region is a demon Genau encounters in the ruins of his hometown in the northern plateau. Ziria personally gives Genau the subjugation request, which leads him back to the village that had once been destroyed by demons. Quick disclaimer, I'll be pulling details from the manga from here on out, so anime onlys, beware. The clearest moment comes when Genau corners the demon. The creature suddenly claims he has a young son and begs for his life. Things become problematic for him when Genau did not hesitate. The demon then tries to attack, and Genau shuts him down immediately. This mission connects directly to Genau's past. While searching the ruins, he finds his childhood friend still alive long enough to speak. His friend says the village was attacked and everyone was killed. Genau tells him he has already exterminated all of the demons and that everything will be fine. He even says he will bring him to Mitoda to heal him. But the sad truth is revealed afterward. Genau already knew his friend had died before he reached Mitoda. The demon girl who served Revolta is a young demon subordinate of the divine Revolta. She calls him Master Revolta and is full of energy and curiosity. She's always asking him questions, acting a lot like a normal kid. She's also very sensitive to mana, so she can sense when mages have fallen into a trap Revolta set up in the village. Her main ability is a spell that lets her change her appearance. The best example of this comes from Revolta's plan. After sensing that 4 mages and 1 warrior were nearby, and learning that 3 of the mages were first class, Revolta grew cautious and chose to wait instead of attacking immediately. The turning point came when he used human emotions as a weapon. Revolta knew humans would risk their lives to protect a child, and he recognized Genau as the partner of a mage who once died saving one. Following this, the demon girl transformed into a human child. Revolta then threw one of his blades at her on purpose, forcing Genau to rush in and protect her. Her biggest moment came right after. While Genau shielded her, she stabbed him with the blade and then returned to her demon form, asking Revolta for praise. However, Genau survived and immediately struck back. His wings cut her down mid-sentence, and her body dispersed into mana. Revolta thanked her for her service, saying it was for a greater cause. The demon who controlled the fog. This nameless demon is a subordinate working under the divine Revolta. He specializes in the spell Nebula Dura, which spreads a large mana-filled fog that surrounds enemies and blocks both sight and mana detection. Inside the fog, he can sense opponents while they cannot sense him, and he can even condense the mist to attack or defend. His most important scene happens during the Divine Revolta arc. The moment he and his companions realize Frieren, Fern, and Metoda have noticed them, he immediately casts Nebula Dura. The fog separates Frieren and Fern from Metoda and blinds the mage's senses. The clearest display of his combat style comes from how he fights from the sky. Fern is confused because she learned that demons usually study only one kind of magic. But Frieren explains that demons once fought in the skies regularly, so for them, flight is as natural as walking and not even considered magic. According to Frieren, the Fog Demon and his ally fought like experienced members of the Demon King's army. His biggest advantage is detection. The mist reacts to even the smallest trace of mana and reveals the target's location, allowing him to block Fern's attacks. Fern even admits he is a bad matchup for her. Everything changes when Metoda analyzes and dispels the fog. Without the mist, the demon becomes vulnerable, though only for a short time, since the demon can create more fog anytime he wants. However, that short opening is enough. Fern fires a very long-range Zoltrak from outside his detection range, preventing him from sensing the attack's path. The shot defeats him immediately. This moment highlights his biggest weakness. He cannot detect someone who perfectly hides their mana. This nameless demon doesn't even know that there are mages out there crazy enough to constantly suppress their own mana. And once the fog is cleared, even for a moment, he is exposed to enemy attacks. The Whirlwind Demon. The Whirlwind Demon is the partner of the fog-controlling demon and another subordinate of the Divine Revolta. She wears a blindfold and fights with a katana. Her speciality is the whirlwind attack spell Maedrot's Bolt, which sends slicing blasts of wind toward whatever direction she swings her blade. When she cuts toward the ground, the attack travels forward and can even tear open the earth toward her target. She faces Metoda in battle, and Metoda quickly notices how steady her attacks are. The clearest difference between her and the Fog Demon appears in their fighting styles. While the Fog Demon uses irregular magic, the Whirlwind Demon fights in the most straightforward way possible. From what Metoda has observed, the Nameless Demon has pure offense, strong fundamentals, and defense built into every swing. Even while attacking, she leaves no openings, and Metoda cannot break through her guard. During the fight, she recognizes Metoda's fighting style and realizes that it's related to a clan from the Northern Plateau, known for dedicating their lives to hunting demons. She says they can have a good fight. Spoiler alert, they will not. What really makes the difference is the one thing this nameless demon doesn't realize. Metoda isn't actually trying to beat her, and she has no intention of putting her down herself. She's just stalling to buy time. Her biggest mistake happens right after the fog clears. Metoda gets rid of her partner's mist, and at that exact moment, Fern hides her mana and moves far beyond the demon's detection range. Since the Whirlwind Demon is completely focused on Metoda, she doesn't notice what Fern is doing. By the time she realizes it, it's too late. Fern fires a long-range Zoltrak and takes her down instantly. The Nameless Greater Demon, Zolita. Zolita is a nameless greater demon, an eccentric being who studies humans and living creatures instead of being a warmonger. Despite not being part of the group, she was close to Macht and is said to be as dangerous as the Seven Sages of Destruction. People call her a nameless greater demon because no records of her exist, meaning no one who faces her survives to report it. Prior to their fight, Frieren warns Fern to run immediately if she ever encounters a demon like her. The clearest display of Zolita's unusual nature is her obsession with studying life. She researches fish and mammals, keeps a human-style living space with specimens and notes, and even understands theories like convergent evolution, which she says the Demon King taught her. From this research, she concludes demons evolved to imitate humans in appearance, speech, and behavior to better hunt them, and she admits demons are monsters. According to Frieren, Zolita understands human thoughts and emotions better than any demon she has met. Yet, she cannot feel those emotions herself and instead provokes reactions just to observe them. The important point in understanding her mindset comes from how she views humanity. Zolita respects and even fears humans and never underestimates them, saying she is either too cautious or too wise to do so. When she meets Fern and Stark, she keeps asking questions about human families and civilization, even while fighting. Her recognition of mana is equally frightening. Fern senses part of her mana from miles away, while Denkin cannot sense it at all. From this, Frieren realizes the owner must be a true master. Her mana output is enormous, rivaling Macht's. On top of that, Frieren says that Zolita's mana size is not very different from her own. Her biggest moment comes during the Golden Land incident. Zolita helps Macht escape the barrier while Frieren is reading his memories. She believes Frieren is one of the few mages capable of killing Macht and wants to witness the result of his attempt at coexistence with humans. The barrier could not be removed by Macht because it was built from many human magical theories. So Zolita spent 2 months dismantling it through her deep study of human magic. Even then, she admits she would never risk her life just to save demon kind, and she also believes coexistence with humans will never work, unlike Macht and the Demon King. In the manga, she later appears again when Frieren travels to the past, assisting Grausam in trying to steal memories from the future that could help demons survive. When Himmel nearly obliterates Grausam, Zolita threatens him and warns that she could do something terrible that would erase Frieren's future. The best example of her combat ability is her raw power. Zolita once destroyed an entire fortress city alone. Frieren says her mana control defies logic, and her simple attacks are dense enough to cut through Frieren's defenses, with a direct hit able to kill her. Her primary attack is Mana Strike, a pure blast of mana she considers the simplest way to send someone to death. She can also create physical mana swords that remain even after she stops controlling them. For defense, she layers her body with dense mana that blocks most spells, including Fern's Rapid Zoltrak. When Fern's Condensed Zoltrak injures her shoulder, she strengthens the barrier enough to block Frieren's own condensed shot. Her final moment comes when her weakness is exposed. Zolita cannot detect an attack launched from beyond her sensing range. Fern fires a super long-range Zoltrak from outside detection, landing a critical hit that allows Frieren to deliver the finishing blow. And that's what makes Zolita terrifying. A demon powerful enough to be remembered, yet treated as nameless. But if nameless demons are this dangerous, the ones who do have names are far worse. Click the video on screen to see the named demons next.